Hello friends, welcome. It's been a beautiful day here in Texas and I'm excited to be in my craft room and I'm ready to craft with you. So I hope you're having a great day wherever you are and we are ready to get started. So today we are working with Pajama Crafter stamps, a fun set here called the LadyBug gift card holder. So this fun die over here creates a little pocket that fits a gift card perfectly, and then it's got a little ladybug, this great stitched large flower, and this great high word with a background. So for today's cards, we're going to be using the flower center, and the high word. And I'm going to be combining that with this fun die, which is a great die for to add texture to your background. That's how we're going to be using it today. It can also be just a large center focal point. That's what I'm trying to say. Focal point for your card. So let me take a look. It is called the Circle Peekaboo die. And then we're also going to be using the banner dies. You know I love a good banner die, and these are great ones. You've seen me use them a lot, but we're going to be using these today as well. And so my plan for today is some tips for you when you hit that wall and your mojo is gone and you feel creatively stuck. And I wanted to talk about some of the things that I do when that happens to me. And anybody that crafts a lot, you know what that feels like. It just, all my cards are looking the same. I want to do something different. I need some inspiration. You know, we all have those moments, right? So I'm going to use these 3 Pajama Crafter products, and we're going to talk about some things you can do when you hit that wall. So one of the things I like to do is pick out a color palette, to just start with a color palette. So I have the color cubes and I chose this color palette to start with today. Now, if you don't have the color cubes, that's all right. Don't feel like you have to run out and buy anything like that. But you can go to just Google and online and just type in any kind of color palette. You can say carnival color palette, kitchen color palette, just pretty color palettes, seasonal, you know, that kind of thing. And it's going to bring up lots of choices for you. So this being my color palette, I went through my scraps and I found a piece of paper that I thought would work. I die cut some of my pieces here using my color palette. And I decided on this one to add a little bit of glitter. For this piece of my banner die, let me show you what I did. So when I first cut out my banner, it gives you a fishtail on one end, but I wanted that fishtail to be on both ends because I'm going to kind of let this banner mimic the leaves on my flower. So what I did is I decided how wide I wanted it, which was basically an A2 card size, and I laid my banner where I wanted it, and then I took my die and laid it on my banner to kind of get it to the size I wanted it to be, and then I went ahead and taped that down and run it through my die machine. And so that is how I got my fishtail on both ends, and it still be the width that I wanted it to be. So that is how I accomplished that. All right, so another thing that you can do besides just a color palette when you're creatively stuck is to go to Pinterest or to Google or anywhere online, or perhaps you have a book at home that has card sketches. And I find using a card sketch just a good jumping off point when you're feeling creatively stuck. It kind of helps get your mojo fired up again. So I did look online, and I just looked at some card sketches that had different shapes. Now, so I chose the flower and the circle. I've got the banners. And then for this card, I also brought in this type of banner, and this was just you know, a banner out of my stash. But if you didn't want to, if you don't have that, you could always just use a full strip of paper. On our next card, that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and put this one together. And you can see on these cards, I'm not doing any stamping or anything like that. I'm just using dies, and I'm focusing on layering. I'm just going to glue this down. Like I said, I grabbed this paper just out of my scrap box. I like to use my scraps when I'm doing things like this. I try to avoid using a full sheet of paper if I can. There we go. Now this piece, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some foam on the back of this. So I don't know if you have seen the ads. Whoops, you know what? I almost messed up. So this is going to go down here, but remember what I said about this fun die, how it adds a lot of texture to your background? That's how we're going to use this one. I'm going to put it right down here in the back, and we're going to let that gorgeous lacy peekaboo edging on this provide some interest behind our banner. So I am just going to center that right here on the top half of my card. And that's going to just provide some texture for us. So now I'm going to add this piece kind of in the center of my card, making sure I leave that pretty detail showing. Right? Now the next thing I want to do is to add this banner. Now, if you remember our color card, this green is this color right here. So this was a little odd to me. My first instinct was to use another shade of this color, but I was really trying to stick with what I chose here to kind of see how that would turn out. So that's kind of a fun thing about using a palette like that, a predetermined palette, is it kind of stretches you to put colors together that maybe you wouldn't have done before. I'm going to bring this down to about the center mark of my circle behind. You know, I'm putting this kind of in the center of that circle, approximately. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now I also die cut in our main die here. It's got this fun flower center. It does give you stitching on that, but I wanted to use some glitter paper just to kind of add a little bit of glitter to this card. And I'm going to try to get this in the circle, or in the center. I often put it off to one side, and I don't know why, but hopefully we got that in the center. So I think what I'm going to do here is add some foam on the back of this. And I think I'm just going to use these little foam dots that I have. They're a little thicker than my other foam, but since I already have some foam under this piece, I think it will be okay. It won't be too thick. All right, and I'm just going to kind of center our flower about like this, right here on our banner. So now we have our high word, and I cut the high word out in two colors of purple, and I thought I would layer them. So I can layer them this way and have my high be like this, or I can layer them this way and have the high be like this. And so I think I like the dark purple on top, and I already have that done over here on this one. So I think I can put that about right here. I'm just going to remove a little bit of the foam here. I put my foam up too high on that one. Okay. Because I want my H to kind of be up on my banner. Just the top edge there. So about like that. I think that looks good about like that. So let's go ahead and we'll put this one on. Then right up here, I'm going to add just a little bit of glue so that'll hold that down in place. All right, like that. So to finish this one off, I think I'm going to bring in just a few of the clear kind of pearlescent discs that are from Pajama Crafter Stamps. And I'm just going to add one kind of up here and then two down here. just to kind of highlight our sentiment down here. We've got the glitter up top. So I like having, oops, that won't go right there. And one right here. So right here is our card number 1. Now we're going to use pretty much the exact same elements, but we're going to make a totally different card. So let's set this one aside. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but another way to add that texture and stuff to your card is by using embossing folders, which of course we all know that. And you can grab any embossing folder in your stash. So on this one, I did emboss my background piece. And for this card, my paper that I found in my scrap box wasn't very big. So I had to come up with a way to use it, because it was the only other piece I had that was the right color that went with my color palette. So another way that doing this kind of gets your creativity moving is because, you know, it stretches you, makes you kind of make some creative choices that maybe you wouldn't have made. So I'm going to put one strip there. And I'm going to put one strip over here. And now for this one, I took a piece of one of the colors in our color palette, and I'm going to put that right down the middle, just like this. So hopefully I got that on straight. Look pretty good. Does that look even? Might be a little bit one way, but I think it'll be okay. All right, so this is going to be our background. All right, what did I do with that other? Oh, here it is. I'm going to need this. All right, so for this piece, I want that to be down here. So I'm going to trim this back just a little bit. It's a little bit longer than what I want. Let's see how this works. Yeah, I think that's about right. And then we have our circle again, but this time, instead of my circle just being a background, I think I want to make that more of a focal point. Instead of my flower being the main focal point, I want my high, my sentiment, to be the main focal point. So to make this little high be my focal point, I think I'm going to put it on this circle. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of these foam dots on the back of my circle. All right, and again, I'm going to position that right there on the top two-thirds of my card, about like that. Now, for this little piece, I wanted to bring in a little more of this glitter color. So what I did is I took a frame die that has a scallop to it, and I laid the frame edge on my glitter paper, and I just cut out a strip of scallop. And it's too short to go all the way across, but that's okay, because I'm going to go ahead and trim it. And now set those aside. Going to grab a strip of double-sided adhesive. Let's see, on it like that. So it'll be on this bottom edge. I'll run my double-sided adhesive, whoops, got it off the bottom, right along the edge, just like that. I need to put my glasses on for this operation. I'm afraid I'll get it crooked. So now I'm going to go ahead, and I just want those scallops to be barely showing out the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here on this end. All right. Now, right up here in my fishtail, there's just a little piece showing, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim that off. And now this little piece is going to go right down here, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue that down. Get rid of that. It's our first card. All right, just right down there. And now for my flower, this flower, I mean, it's beautiful. It's the focal point here, and I love it. But I decided I wanted to make my glitter stand out just a little more. So I made a circle in white that's just a little bit larger than my glitter circle. And I'm going to add that to the center of my flower, just to change it up and make that glitter stand out just a little more. Again, I'm going to try to get that centered. That looks pretty good. You'll have to tell me in the chat which way you like it best. Now, when I add my flower, I want to make sure that one of the petals covers up my little gap in my scalloping right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the same foam that I used before, and I'm going to go ahead and take the backing paper and I'm going to raise this up, and I'm going to put one of them right here underneath my circle piece. Now for this one, I'll put one down here, one down here. I might put one over here on this one. Okay, add some glue onto that one. I'm going to add some glue onto these so I can have a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm going to position my flower right about there. All right, to finish my card off, we want to add the high words. So again, let's decide if we want the dark purple on top or the light purple on top. And I really like layering them up like that, giving that little extra edge. So there it is with dark purple. Let's try it with the light purple. Oh boy, kind of hard to tell. I think I like the dark being on top. I think I kind of go back and forth. I like both. Let's go with the dark though. Okay, so same as before, we're just going to layer these up. I'm going to grab just a little strip of foam here, and we'll put some foam on the back of this. Oops. These little teeny tiny pieces. All right. So using this large flower and this fun peekaboo circle and our banners, I think you could probably, I wouldn't be surprised if you could come up with 100 of different sketches that you could use these in different ways by adding just a few products to come up with some really fun card designs. So I just did 2 today. You can see how they're different. And you know what? Now that I'm looking at it with the white behind it, I wish I'd put the white behind this one. I may go ahead and make another one and glue on top because I like that. I like that big center popping out, and it kind of picks up the white in our piece. So you'll have to kind of let me know if you have a favorite. And I hope that this gave you some tips for when you have a creative block happen and you're not sure where to go. You might try starting with a color palette and then looking for a card sketch, pulling out some dies. A large flower like this one is perfect. I love the LadyBug gift card. It's so versatile with so much that you can do. And we're going to be using this again very soon, using the gift card and the LadyBug. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining me today. All of the products will be listed below, and we would love it if you would go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And I did want to mention, there's going to be an end of the year warehouse clearance sale over at Pajama Crafter Stamps. So do head over to the website and check that out, because you just may be able to pick up some of these products at really big discounts. So, all right. I hope you have a wonderful day. I look forward to crafting with you again very soon. Bye-bye.